invite you to use this opportunity to just let your attention sink down out of its interest in thought and just notice what it's like to be, the feel of being. Body, weight in chair, breath. Relieving yourself of any assignments to be any particular way. Just here, off duty. Letting your breath be as deep as it's willing to be. Letting your body soften and sink into the chair. Being. Noticing the sound of my voice. Letting attention move through the body, inviting it to soften and sink into gravity's pull. Letting this off-dutiness be reflected in every muscle that's willing to give in to just sitting, softening. Noticing the absence of harshness. Noticing the space around your body. The sweetness and simplicity of your own solitude. Noticing the places that don't know how to soften. Softening around them in mercy for whatever they've had to shoulder or handle. And such a warm welcome here from this heart to each of you for taking the time out to gather here. In the name of the heart and in the name of men's hearts. This is a yay men space. A non-reactive, slowed down space to inquire. Where it's safe and simple for any of the places where you don't have your so-called shit together, where you might not be on top of things. A place for the emergent. A place to explore. I wanted to talk a little bit about something I feel is really at the core of the human walk, at the core of separation, and certainly at the ground level of men reclaiming their tender, wide open hearts and valuing your raw, simple being, which is this sense of badness or shame that is at the core of separation. The sense that something about our being as human, our being as this being, our being as man or woman, but in this particular instance, I'm talking about men. Somehow there is something about you that is banishable. And there certainly is a lot of that energy in the culture, that there is something somehow inherently bad or shameful about manhood. And I just want to say unequivocally that that's crap. And that a huge part of reclaiming this right to rest in sovereign, simple being, from which the heart softens open, from which a stand can be taken for the heart's sensibilities. That this ground level sense that there's something bad or shameful about our being needs to be met very deeply and dispelled. So there is below all of that the simple, integrous, direct experience of the integrity of being, the integrity of your being. That when we drop out of the everyday mind and sink into this non-dual awareness of the flow of sensation and this noticing presence that we are, things get really simple. Just hear, like this, sound, feel. There may be things showing up that on our radar screen here that we don't like, we're not fond of. We're not fond of the clench in our belly. We're not fond of the ache in our shoulders, etc. We're not fond of the way the mind may chatter and chatter. But there is no arguing with the felt fact that you are, and that it has this flavor in this moment. It's like this. And so before galloping off to do anything about any of that, I want to invite us to simply slow down to the pace of our being and notice its actuality, what it's like to be the fact, the felt, unmistakable fact that you are. And the whole felt, vibrating, direct experience of that as it is, to start there, to reckon with that. Below the mind, things just are not good, not bad, just like this. I want to invite us to sit together in this outrageous, revolutionary act of being nobody, going nowhere, and just having the audacious gall to rest as being, the cheek to actually take up the space that your body rests on, to claim that as ground, to feel the straight quality of your spine, to lift your chin in a kind of a simple dignity of being. And that whatever you've done, however you've failed, whatever you've lost, whatever you've won, whatever you've achieved, however you've flubbed, down below the mind, there is this fresh, direct experience of brand new, innocent awareness, as though this is the first moment you have opened your eyes on this world. Innocent, simple, vibrating life, presence, being. It is a powerful act to grant yourself this right to be without defending, without working hard to be a good one. You have a right to rest here as being, with that experience, with that body, with that unique flavor. And so sitting in a kind of a direct experience of the integrity and simplicity of the essence of your being. It's direct from Creator, direct from Source, given its charter to come to this place, to spill its gift, to learn some things, mostly about loving. These tender hearts and our bodies that are so tender too. We come to this world delighting, noticing, loving. These tender hearts take so many insults, so many pokes. And as far as I can tell, men's conditioning is utterly designed to send those tender hearts into hiding, protecting. So I'm sitting here in a full out honoring of the hearts on this call, of the integrity of those hearts, of the beauty of those hearts, of the heartbreaks those hearts have experienced, and of all the ways that men find to express their hearts in safe ways, mostly through activity, it seems. And I take that to be a fact. The beauty and tender sweetness of the heart, of your hearts. And in case it gets too pink in here, the sturdy stand of the heart, the sword of the heart, the aspect, the young aspect of the heart. It stands for what it senses to be beautiful and worthy of protection, true and right. And I would just invite you to feel the strength and the uprightness of your spine that is symbolic of that stand. And then the softness of the flesh, the vulnerability that it is to be human. be hurtable, to feel loss, to be affectable. Both aspects needed for all humans to live here in a good way. So I want to suggest that all attempts to prove you are a good man are moving on top of compensating for some sense that you aren't. That there is a natural expression of your wholeness that just happens to be goodness itself. But the actual trying to outrun or make up for some kind of collective sins of mankind based on any sense of shame is only perpetuating that sense of badness and kicking the can down the road to the day when you deeply, deeply meet it. And when you don't try and compensate for it, it rises to be met. It rises as though it's real. It rises as a feel. And it's actually kind of a blessing when we can allow that to rise, because mostly our conditioning, and especially men's conditioning, is a defense against having that experience and allowing it to breathe and allowing the one that feels shamed to see the light of day, to feel the sun on his face, to claim the ground as his own. We are all kinds of manipulatable when we are working hard to compensate for that, rather than meeting it and allowing it to rise. Any tiny implication that we are bad can have us towing a line so that we don't get blamed and left. So it takes, I think, great courage or desperation to start to open to this aspect of ourselves, because it can be a jungle in there. But I just want to suggest that any time the feel of bad man is hovering around you somehow, that you pause and you maybe lay a hand on your chest or your belly and you allow a few breaths before you try and compensate for or function on top of that guy. Mercy. Mercy for all the pokes and all the blames and all the leavings and all the characterizations. Extrapolating something clumsy or something stray or the pain in your voice, somehow extrapolating that to some kind of inherent badness is not true. Mercy.